How's everyone doing today? Mate, I miss everybody. I've gone from doing 2 live streams a day to I did one yesterday. I didn't go live the day before. It's just because we weren't getting much action on our sports books, but now the books have opened up. I'm doing 2 lives today. I'm uploading my breakdown of Emainis Stanionis, his return. He's fighting in Lithuania this weekend. I went to bed last night with not a lot of options in terms of the betting side of things, and then I woke up with so many. The books have opened, so it's Thursday morning my time, 6:30 a.m. Welcome everybody. As you guys are tapping in, let me know where you guys are coming from. Hit the thumbs up. Like I said, I gotta admit I was a little bit burned out after the Canelo fight week, and this is 2 weeks after, so I'm still trying to get my feet back again in terms of getting back into that system of getting 2 live streams out a day, as well as uploading a Stats Don't Lie video. I have uploaded one Stats Don't Lie video this week. It was a Johnny Says Boxing membership level 2 request video. So that video breakdown analysis is up on the playlist. If you guys haven't joined our private VIP Discord, the link is pinned here in the bio. It is a couple bucks a month. You see the boys in the chat with the stars. Those are Johnny Says Insiders. And I'll leave it open to you guys. Like I said, the week, I think looking at these odds, I woke up, I already just posted in our Discord after just seeing the odds for about an hour. I already got my prop of the week. It's a 50% return of investment. I love it. We could go over that in detail if you want. And then I'm looking at the other cards. I also want to mention the Discord, one of my favorite if you ask me week to week, we've only had the Discord for about 8 weeks, but if you ask me every week what's your favorite thing about it, I would say something different. Yesterday, I realized the value of live betting. Now, we didn't have boxing, but we had MMA. And so in the Discord, this is a boxing site, right? But there's a lot of bettors in the Discord. So over the last 8 weeks, we've started an MMA channel for the UFC bettors. We've also started an American football channel and also a soccer, a football channel. But in the MMA channel yesterday, we had the Dana White Contender Series fights. And I didn't break those videos down. I didn't give you guys my prediction. But I popped in after I ran a 10K. When I got back from the 10K, the fights were on. So I pop into the Discord, and I see there were 2 fights left. And I ended up hitting huge. I hit an 8-1, I hit a 5-1, and I hit a 6-1. So I actually hit more yesterday during my live betting of MMA than I did last week of boxing. So what do I always say about us, the insiders? We're archaeologists. we're gonna find some wins. So I'm already up. I'm up big. Hopefully, and shout out to the MMA Discord. I know a lot of us hit, so I put those tickets up as well. Anyway, we're back to business. We got boxing. We could go over that prop of the week if you want. DJ Green in the house, what's up? Boxing fan, my guy, what's up? Live betting be sweet. Yeah, you boys put me on to live betting, man. I wasn't aware, and soon to be Greyhound. Adu, you know what? I'll put the Greyhounds for if you're serious. Adu, if you're serious, I'll put the Greyhounds for you. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add. Excuse me. I'll add a miscellaneous. We could call it something. We could call it miscellaneous betting. Maybe I'll add a DGen tab. That's what it is. I'll add a DGen channel. After this live stream, I'll go DGen, and that'll be like dogs, horses. You guys could do your e-game, because some of you boys are doing esports. I'll do that for you, Adu, for sure. I didn't watch film for like 3 days. Yeah, DJ, we're burned out, man. I think sometimes we need a recharge. Like, I'm feeling good, though, now, DJ. I woke up seeing Emainis Stanionis on my betting slip, and then I was going over, his opponent, and I'm doing film already on him, and he's a fun guy to break down, and he, the 147-pound division guys with Boots Ennis going to 54, I still think it's wide open. Stanionis has 1 loss. He's coming off a brutal 6-round stoppage. He's fighting a guy with the last name Mackenzie. Mackenzie in BoxRec's algorithm is ranked 65. So if you're playing a numbers game, you have the number 25 ranked BoxRec fighter in the world at 47 versus the number 65 ranked. And we know you can make what you want of these rankings, but at 147, I think this matchup is tailor-made for Stanionis to get back on the winning ways, especially how he tends to go about his business. 15-1, 9 knockouts. He's fighting Jabulani Mackenzie. So we'll talk a little bit about Jabulani Mackenzie, 16-2, 8 knockouts. South African fighter, 32 years old. He's going to be taller than Stanionis. I think he's going to be tailor-made. I watched a little bit of tape of Stanionis, of Mackenzie. Can't really find anybody on Mackenzie's resume that really jumps off the page. This fight is in Lithuania. This is one of these classic fights to get your boy, to get the local boy back on the winning ways. Right now, my book, let me check, because the money line just opened. Mackenzie's a 9-1 underdog, and we're not getting props. But I think by tomorrow we'll get props. And if a prop opens up Stanionis by knockout, I'm jumping on it heavy. The other lock that I told you guys about, that I just shared, is actually, I'll just give it to you guys right now. Sean McComb is fighting Ben Crocker. McComb on the money line is $1.22. The method of victory, if you could get Sean McComb by decision, I'm getting him at $1.50. Come on, man. I'm gonna go heavy. I'm going heavy on that. $1.50, 500 gets you money back plus 250. 1,000 gets you money back plus 500. You could do the maths. I sent this one to Muscles. 10 grand will get you 5 grand. I mean, neither guy has knockout power. I think McComb is, the better boxer, and I think it's, one of the low risk, there's going to be risk, but one of the logical, makes sense sort of method of victory props that you'll find, other than Fondoro by knockout, Gabby. This one, McComb to beat Crocker by decision, I like a lot. I didn't watch film. Do you think about that round robin betting on boxing? Boxing fan, you sent me the round robin style. I'm still not there's something about it that I'm not right. Does anybody here do round robin betting, guys? Jokes aside, but DGen is it? Jokes, dude, but DGen is it? JP Farley, subjoke. JP Farley, baby, let's go. Guardians ball. My little sister, see if you could tell, Youngstown. So my little sister was at that game. We're talking about Major League Baseball now. We're talking about the Cleveland Guardians, the Indians, coming back, and they're in first place in the Central with about 8 to go. They were down, I think they were 15 games behind 5 weeks ago. And yesterday they faced one of the best pitchers in the major league, Skubal. And I said in the live stream yesterday, if Cleveland could hang in there and get to the bullpen around the mid to late innings, we could have a chance. That's exactly what happened. I don't bet on my teams. So yeah, I never bet on the Indians. I never bet on the Cavs. I never bet on the Browns. I bet on the Buckeyes against Texas because Gary from 3D Boxing was a huge Texas fan. And I told him the Buckeyes were going to beat that ass. So I put a little coin on Ohio State. They might set him up to get that stop. DJ, are we talking Stanionis? I think Stanionis is going to get that stoppage. I tested round robin. You're killing it. Boxing fan, could you DM me those? Send me a voice memo, mate, because, I'm an auditory learner. So if you know anything about... So after grad school, I was teaching a communication course to corporates in Las Vegas. Say that. After grad school, I was teaching a communication course to corporates, right? And I was teaching the 3 levels. There's 3 ways we all compute knowledge, how we learn. You're either auditory, visual, or kinesthetic. Auditory learners hear the world. We hear and we compute and are memorized from there. Visual, see the world. Now, everybody has all 3 levels, but each person differently will be primarily better in one than the other. And then the third one is actually more connected with women. It's kinesthetic, feel the world. So people, more hands-on in how we learn in our approach. But with me, when I'm learning something, hearing it. So if I'm reading it, somebody's writing something to me, that's visual. It makes sense. But if I'm really trying to wrestle with a concept I'm not too sure about, I need to hear about it. I need somebody to talk to me about it. So auditory. So boxing fan, I know you're a busy dude. You got your own life. In Instagram, maybe send me like a 20-second audio, because if you're winning on it, I'd like to spread the word. You know, we want to spread the wealth, and the boys in the Discord will be happy to hear about it. I'm new to this sort of like, you know, and we're winning every week. So I'm not, I guess my mental landscape, I would say I'm new to the betting, but I've been betting on sports since I was a kid. I guess I'm new to this sort of talking to strangers and talking to people and building community about it. So for me to talk about something like round robin, I never even heard of it. I'd like to know more though. Macomb points, always a safe bet unless he gets robbed like the Barboza one. I got plus 1,000 on that one, was pissed off. Kiza, there's no such thing as locks. So yeah, you're right, brother. There's always a chance. Stanionis. Yes, if we could get Stanionis by knockout, boys, I'm jumping on it like I already told you. So the fights I'm getting, I'll go over this real quick. Let me know if you guys are getting this. Currently, these are the fights I'm getting. Stanionis versus Mackenzie. We'll just build a parlay real quick. We'll just do a money line for fun parlay. Stanionis money line. You got Tszyu Gallagher versus Ellie Hellowell. I got to do more tape, but just off jump, I would take Tszyu Gallagher just off jump. Amanda Galle versus Yamil Hernandez. That's a feeder fight. Amanda Galle. Crocker versus Macomb. Macomb. Lahell versus Rufus Venice. I'm not going to pretend I even know these people. This fight, I'm going to leave that one alone. Oh, Naomi Valle is fighting Macri. Valle, she's going to be eaten in that fight. Cedeno. Henry Cedeno is a nice little fighter. Henry Cedeno is fighting Alejandro Rodriguez. Don't know much about him. I'm going to avoid that fight. Cedeno should win. The odds on that aren't too good. $1.04. Javon Walton, Anthony. Look, Javon Walton is this kid who's an actor. You know, he was a boxer first, so I don't want to like sell him short. But this kid had a lot of hype because Javon Walton was either in like, it wasn't The Wire, but he played sort of like a troubled kid in one of these like, I don't know if it was Disney. We watched him get beat though, man. These American clickbait boxing huge sites on Instagram and Twitter will do their top prospects, and they always put Javon Walton on their top prospect. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? And they never talk about real legit boxing prospects. I'm not betting on this fight. I mean, I see Javon Walton fighting a kid with the last name Mora. I mean, I want to do tape on Anthony Mora, and I might put Javon Walton on upset alert, but I'm not going to put him on that parlay. I've seen, you know, I haven't seen Walton in about a year, but what I've seen from him is, you know, good energy for a young fighter, but very basic. Nothing that screams potential champion at all. And he's getting super marketed because he ticks boxes, you know, connected a little bit to Hollywood, good looking dude, that sort of thing. But I see a kid at Anthony Mora who's only a 4-1 dog. I'm thinking like, oh, the dogs might be barking on that fight. Jeremy Hill, Christian Chacon. I got to do tape. Those odds, I'd have to see Chacon. I mean, I think Jeremy Hill could be on upset alert here. Emilio Moreno. This might be the dude. Emilio Moreno versus Raul Garcia. $1.49 and $2.85. See, there's some good matchups. I'm not going to say these fights are going to be fight of the year with the best sort of technique you're ever going to see. But regarding odds, there's a couple fights I'm already seeing that in terms of money-making bouts that we can make money on just by doing the work, doing film study, creating a logical approach. I mean, if you know, Emilio Moreno versus Raul Garcia, I'm going to dive into that one. Jeremy Hill, Christian Chacon, I'm going to dive into that one. And like I said, I want to watch tape on Anthony Mora versus Javon Walton. It's already Thursday morning, guys. I didn't get any of these fights until this morning. I wish I would have got these fights 4 days ago so I could have been studying these up. But those are 3 fights. If you guys want to bookmark, I would if you guys are, you know, betting on these fights. Still building our parlay, Maslin Mekendez versus Anthony Soto. I mean, I'm going to put Mekendez for now. Najee Lopez versus Calvin Henderson. Lopez should deal with Henderson pretty well. And then Kim Clavel versus Sol Kudos. So these are the ladies. This is for a world title. This is on, I think, the MVP card. Sol Kudos is coming in as the A side. She's close to a 3-1 dog. I'd have to do more tape. I'm not saying the draw is in play, and I would never give you guys a draw to put on your parlay. But if there is one fight this weekend that I might bet a draw on, it would be the ladies. I'm not going to lie. It would be Kudos versus Clavel. If you want to sprinkle even $10 on a draw, that could be the one. Right now, I have a 7-leg long parlay. Let's look at it. Money line, 343. So you're getting a return of plus 243. $100 on your bet gets you your money back plus $243. And right now these are all money lines: Stanionis, Gallagher, Galle, Macomb, Valle, Akendez, and Lopez. That's 7 fighters. It's something to think about. I like it. It's something to think about. I mean, 1,000 gets you 2,040 back. You know, if you got I'm going against my own rules. I usually would have already deducted this money out of this sports bet account because I don't like keeping money in there. My rules are, the way I rule is if you win and it could pay any bill, if it could pay your car, if your car's not paid off, you know, if you need financial advice, I would then say whatever you buy, try to purchase it in whole. You know, it's hard to do that in this day and age, depending on where you are in your life timeline. You know, but like especially a house, you're not gonna. I know like 2 friends who bought their nice homes out of cash, and these guys are like angel investors. You know, those are the outliers, and you're obviously gonna need a loan for a home. But if you could buy your like tech stuff, like I buy all your phones, your tablets, your cameras. If you could buy that all up front, do that. You want to put yourself as little as possible having to pay on things. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I got my first documentary funded. He started off as a client, then he became an investor into my projects, and then he became sort of like a mentor. And this would have been 6 years ago. He's like, Johnny, let me see your iPhone. Grabs my iPhone, and he goes to the spot of like, if you open your iPhone up and you go to the settings, you could see like how many sort of subscriptions you're paying for. And I didn't even know about this at the time. And I was paying for like so much stupid shit. An app here is $7.99, an app here $9.99, an app here. It was like a couple $100 a month of shit that I didn't even know I was paying. So he was like, you use this, you use this, you use this. I go, no. He's like, cancel, cancel, cancel. He just saved me like $300-400 a month just there. My point is, with that sort of way of thought, if you can, don't pay on things that you could pay up front for with a little bit of sort of sacrifice. And if you have the money in your account and it could pay a bill, anything, deduct it out. So that was kind of my long way of telling the story, that I'm looking at my betting account and there's a little bit too much in there. I thought now I'm being tempted because I'm like, oh shit, it's playing with house money. Let me just put a little bit of that on a little bit of that and get that back. Or the smart person would be like, let me deduct it and then start over with a small little wager. That's kind of what I do. You know, I'm not trying to get rich. I don't gamble to get wealthy. That's not what I'm in this for. It's more of an entertainment thing. But we all have our own systems. We all have our own methodologies. Mar the Prince in the house. Do you have Tam Tybalt on your book? Haven't got her and missing. No, I don't have her on my book, Mar. Makey crazy. Makey, did you get the video shout? Makey crazy. Cuba for the upset boxing fans. If I get a loss on boxing, round robin would save my ass. Or if I win, I clean house. I'm excited to send it to you and we can share it with the Discord. Rock on, man. Let's do that, big fella. I tried round robin once. Favorable. And yeah, Tam Tybalt. I'm not getting it. Mar, what card is that fight on? I'm checking now. Ben Crocker, Tam Tybalt. Tszyu Gallagher. There it is. Tam Tybalt, ranked number 2 in the world. Fighting Christina Mizada, ranked number 12 in the world. So you said, Makey, appreciate you. Mar, why don't I know about this fight? So what? Is this a minimum weight fight? Oh, this is a middleweight fight. Okay, that makes more sense. I think there's like, 14 middleweights in the world? Yeah. There's only This is how thin the female divisions are. Middleweight, there's only 42 fighters in the world who fight at middleweight in the female division. There's only 42. And there's a girl with only 3 pro fights who's ranked number 2. Tam was a good amateur. She's looking good. Okay. So are we convinced on, I'm not getting options. She's 5'10". She's a Canadian. She's ticking the boxes for me, guys. 5'10". She's only 28, which is young. You know what I'm saying? Usually in the women's divisions, we see like, you know, because the sport's new, it's growing. We see a lot of ladies in the 30s, some in their 40s. Kiza, she's big. She might be able to fight Shields. No shit. I got to get on her then, Kiza. I didn't know this. I didn't know this, mate. You know, this is why we got to love our sport of boxing. There's always fighters to learn about. I never heard of Tam Tybalt. I never heard of her. You guys are savages. Victor. Natasha Spence. Why did I see that fight? Didn't we? So she fought Natasha Spence last December. I'm pretty sure. What card was that on? It was an MVB card. Antonio Vargas, Winston Guerrero. Okay, that's probably why I recognize her name. She made her debut on that card, it looks like. Yeah, she made her debut on that card because we definitely covered the main event in that fight. Yeah, Sportsbet isn't giving options on that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go with that. I like the 7-leg parlay. I'll post it for the YouTube, for everybody on YouTube after this live stream. And then I'll put it in the Discord. It's the 7-leg money line parlay. I'll go over it one more time. There are 4 other fights that I'm really interested in that aren't on this parlay that I just need to do film study on. Let's go over those fights first, okay? Before I sort of visit the long parlay. And maybe you guys could help me, Mankey, if you know, Mar the Prince, whoever else is on this live stream. Like this video too, guys. It's a slow one. I don't expect this week to be busy, by the way. This is just for the diehards. But if you are catching these lives and you can help me in any way, just like the video, okay? Here are the fights before I talk about that long parlay again that I'm interested in and doing tape, specifically on maybe an upset alert. Anthony Mora. Has anyone taped Anthony Mora? Anthony Mora is a plus 480, meaning 100 on him gets you your money back plus 380. He's fighting Javon Walton. I'm not high on Javon Walton. I'll leave it at that. I'm more interested in has anyone taped Anthony Mora? Has anyone taped Christian Chacon? Christian Chacon is fighting Jeremy Hill. Jeremy Hill is $1.31. And then the other one is Raul Garcia. Raul Garcia is fighting Emilio Moreno. I know about Moreno. I don't know much about Garcia. Only fight I've seen of Mora is when David Lopez knocked him out, but Lopez way better than Walton. Okay. Kiza, yeah. If that's the same Mora. What's up, Johnny? What's up, unknown user? Appreciate you. Let's check out Kiza. I'm gonna pull up the box rec on and does anybody think that Sol Kudos, the main event in the ladies world title fight, could beat Kim Clavel? Because on paper Kim Clavel is Klim Cavell is the favorite. But I'm hearing she could be on upset alert. Okay, so Sol Kudos 10-0. Like when you look at Kim Clavel, she's 21-2. Okay, give me 1 second. She's 21-2. All right, yeah. I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna stick with the favorite there. Ola Hill versus Chacon is length versus pressure fight. Mankey crazy. Do you think that Chacon? Let's get into this real quick. Javon Walton, Tybalt, Valley. Okay, so that's going to be on the Najee. That's on the Najee Henderson card? Najee Lopez card, right? So the Najee Lopez card. Morano versus Garcia. 14-2. Anthony Cuba's fighting. I'm not getting odds. Anthony Cuba is the kid. His only loss was to, wasn't it? Was it Carmel Moten or he's the kid who dropped Abdullah? No, Carmel Moten. Dude, I gotta be honest with you. This is the bias in American boxing media. Anthony Cuba is a really good fighter, mate. Rewatch, like what I saw in Anthony Cuba against Carmel Moten. I saw a kid who, with a better game plan, would have beaten Carmel Moten. And that sounds crazy because he ended up getting stopped, or it went the distance. It went all 6, right? Yeah. We watched that fight on my channel. We watched so many fights. It was Carmel Moten's 3rd pro fight, or 2nd pro fight, and it was Cuba's, first or 2nd pro fight. It was an 8-rounder. You want to watch a really exciting fight? Watch Anthony Cuba versus Carmel Moten. I actually like this kid a lot, dude. I wish I could bet on him. He's only 22 years old. Is anybody seeing what I'm seeing with Anthony Cuba? Axel reckons upset against Clavel. Okay, I got to do my work. Just based looking at the records, it's Adu. I'm really hesitant with taking fighters with only 10 or so pro fights fighting. Clavel has over 25 pro fights. What's good, Sal's Blog Talk? Appreciate you. Mankey Crazy. Cuba's plus 135. I'm not getting odds on Cuba. If I could, I would bet on him. I like his tape. I like his style. I like his aggression. There's a lot to like about Cuba. At 22 years old, too, people were sleeping on that kid. I like Soul. I'm still doing footage on it. Kim Clavel got beat up by an Argentinian before. Okay, also. Okay, Kim Clavel got beat up by an Argentinian. Okay, I gotta do my study. So people are saying Clavel should be on upset alert. Yeah, he gave Moten a good fight. Anthony Cuba finna be on. You think he's gonna be on upset alert? Okay, yeah, Cuba is a dog. So is Cuba the underdog, guys? I'm not getting him. If I'm getting Cuba at plus money, I'm rolling with the 22-year-old man. There's a lot to like about that kid, and I think he beats. Man, that kid is a tough fight for a lot of people. He's still so young. I'm excited now for this card. We'll probably watch that on YouTube. Will this Cuba fight be on YouTube? 5'8", 135, or is he fighting at 40? This one's saying he's ranked. Is this fight at 40 or 35? Jorge De Jesus, 14-1, super lightweight. Puerto Rico. This is a fun fight, mate. This is a fun fight. I might do tape on this fight. De Jesus versus Cuba. Both guys, stylistically, that's going to be a firefight. What books are you guys getting? Bet365. I'm going to have to check it. Cuba's a slight underdog. Cuba beat Angel Rebella, who beat Top Rank. Yeah. Bet365 should have him. I'm going to check him out, DJ. Appreciate you. Cuba is the GOAT. Cuba, an underdog, just joined. 22. He's doing well for himself. Same broski. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull that up. Yeah. If I'm going to do tape. I'm going to tape this. This is, other than, and this is just my sort of loyalty to the game, other than seeing Stanionis fighting, granted Boots did what we thought he was going to do. We won a lot of money on Boots stopping Stanionis under 7.5. I'm still a Stanionis fan. So other than Stanionis returning this weekend in Lithuania, I wasn't that excited about this weekend's fights until I just saw that Jorge De Jesus is fighting Anthony Cuba in an 8-rounder, which should be a firefight. I'm happy again. I just got reinvigorated just based off of this matchup. Look, the lady fights are always entertaining. There's a lot of lady fights at MVP card. But, I mean, when you start talking about young prospects under the age of 24 who really get me excited with their fight style, who feel that they could, be more than just sort of, could go from prospect to contender. 5'8", good range, good style. always is the B side too. You know what, mate? Something I like about Cuba, one of the biggest take home points for me, and I've watched the fight twice, Moten versus Cuba, and I'm high on Moten. Carmel Moten, young, it's gonna be fun to watch his growth. And hats off to Moten's camp for having him fight Cuba so young, and Cuba was so young, but Cuba goes into every fight as the B side. You know what I'm saying? That's also something that I took with me, because when he was fighting Moten, when you watched all the other guys so far fight Carmel Moten, they fight like they're the B side. This young dude, who I didn't know who he was, I know he had a decent little amateur. People knew who he was when he went pro. I don't even want to misspeak. I don't even know if did he ever let the amateur career, Anthony Cuba? But he didn't fight Moten like he was in there to lose. And I learned a lot about that kid, that fight. We'll see how he goes. That was his only loss. He has 2 draws. Real quick, thoughts on Tszyu's team. Let's talk about it. I'm not happy about it. Guys, I put up in our YouTube channel, David, I agree, brother. And David, great points yesterday on the comment section, man. You're on to something. I'm going to get to Adu's question, but David was talking about his perspective on my rant yesterday regarding Jake Paul. I'm not saying, David, I flipped, but I'm just saying this is the disc. We got to open chat on my channel, and you put a lot of thought into it, and you put a lot of valid points into it. Anybody who's questioning what I'm talking about, go to my live stream yesterday. It's on the playlist. Read the comment section. David dropped some heat on it. Some more. Keep an eye out on Gonzalez Stanionis this weekend as well. Okay, so let's get to Tszyu. Real quick, guys, I'll give you my 60-second take on Tszyu. Tszyu was teasing this announcement for a week that he's changing camps. His long-term promoter, manager, Glenn Jennings, his whole camp, from his coach, his grandpa, his uncle, Glenn, they all managed Tim Costa's career. It's well noted. They all have been taking care of Tim. It's also well noted Tim's career hasn't really gone the way he thought it was going to go, for whatever that is. Tszyu, we found out 2 weeks ago on the Liam Perro fight card that Glenn Jennings said that Tszyu, they parted ways, right? And then Tszyu started doing these sort of like, what's a good adjective for how he was posting? Like cryptic, lack of better terms, about he's teasing a great announcement, a big announcement. And it had all of us thinking, all right, fight style, 30 years old. You already like fighting flat-footed. You just need a little bit more tactics and approach. You need a little bit of movement side to side. You need a little bit of work on your timing of when to use the body, when to exit. You need more strategy. Go to Robert Garcia. That Manny Robles. Go to America. I mean, we just saw Jack Catterall make the announcement he's going to Philly. Hats off to Jack Catterall, mate. Come on. I think that's a beautiful move. El Gato is training with Bozienis in Philly. You take a kid like Catterall, already has some sort, class to him. Shocking. I always say it'll be a travesty if Catterall retires never being a world champion, based off of what happened against Josh the first time. But Catterall now is training in Philly. Think about all the great fighters in Philly, guys that we don't even hear of. You got guys in Philly who will fight that aren't even fighters. My point is, he's going to get some good sparring. And he's going to get some a definitely rerouting way of fighting with Bozy. Bozy will teach him how to punch a little bit better, teach him how to fucking sit on the shots a little bit better. He already is. It's not like Jack is gun shy. It's not like Jack is unwilling to pull the trigger. It's just technique at that level, the smallest, slightest difference of lifting the elbow. So my coaches used to drill when you're throwing the hooks, right? Don't throw the hooks here. Don't throw the hooks here. Throw the hooks here. So if I'm a right-handed fighter and I want to throw my backhand, my right hook, don't throw it with my fist. Throw it with my elbow. So elbow up and then throw. Here, and then after you elbow up, turn the body, cut the body in half. So our body, we're punching with an invisible line, cutting our body in half, right? Everybody, my point is, when I watch Jack punch, it looks like Jack always punches with his hands. I don't want to call him an arm puncher, but when you're watching technically, when a guy is starting their delivery of how they're throwing their punches, you see the hand go first. You want to throw up. Oh, like that. So, and watching his elbow technique too on his lead and his back hook, it kind of, anyway, watch how Giron throws his hooks. I think that move is great for Jack. Tszyu moving 2 suburbs, going from Rockdale to Merrickville to fight with Jeff Fenech. I mean, Jeff Fenech, Hall of Famer. You know, I don't know. And shout out to, I'm not going to put him on blast, one of the Johnny Says Boxing insiders here. He's on our live stream. He's an amateur boxer here in Sydney. He's only 18. Very smart kid. Him and I are always talking on Instagram. He said that he agreed with me. He left me a voice memo and he said, look, Johnny, he was like, I thought Tim was going to go to America too. I thought, you know, training with Garcia would be a good fit, blah, blah, blah. He was like, but my dad said Tim has already psychologically reverted himself to being just a domestic guy. So that's why Tim chose Jeff Fenech, because Tim is no longer looking at himself as an international fighter. He's just going to market himself on the domestic level here in Australia. The love affair with Jeff Fenech, the superstar family on a domestic level, last name Tszyu. Tszyu and Fenech joining forces, creating this super team on the domestic level, and he'll just fight the likes of like Michael Zarafa, you know, that sort of thing, and just kind of cruise the rest of his career. And it is one way of looking at it, and having him make that announcement and acting like it was going to be this huge thing just for him to move 2 suburbs. If you know, it's Sydney, so I live in the North Shore. They call where I live the Northern Beaches. I live in the lower North Shore, right? He's from West, a place called Rockdale, which isn't, it's a hard-nosed, gritty area. And then Jeff Fenech is nicknamed the Merrickville Mauler, Inner West, so think Newtown. So it's like, I thought he was going to jump on a jet and go to America. He's just going 2 suburbs. And then you look at the team he's going with, his manager team. This guy 2 months ago, if you follow Tim Tszyu, you watch his Instagram. And Tim, if you're watching, mate, this is no knock on you, but I was second guessing your business decisions a couple months ago before the Fedora fight. He's aligning himself with this sort of gym in Sydney, doing content for them, selling like fitness classes. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, from an entrepreneurial perspective, I was like, this isn't really aligned with a guy who is about to have his name in the marquee in Las Vegas. There's one thing with showing the local, businesses love. There's another thing with aligning yourself with promoters or sponsors that are congruent with your career trajectory. That's all I'm saying. And then it comes to pass that this same sort of gym is his new promoter. And I'm like, what this sounds like to me is in college, I used to live with a house with like 7, 8 other, blokes in an old mansion on campus. And it was a party house. And when the boys would be dating one girl, and they'd be all, if you boys are in your 20s, you know, you guys have that one friend who's always in love. Dog, man, I just met this girl. I'm going to marry her. She's the love of my life. And it's like all hot for like 2 weeks. And then you start seeing fractures. You start seeing that behavior. Oh, like, shit, that ain't going to work. And it just goes from one relationship to the other. You start seeing the red flags. Watching Tim Tszyu's movements online before the Seb fight, I remember with the aligning himself with local gym sponsors rather than like a big watch company or a big car company or that sort of thing. I was thinking to myself, and then seeing him leaving Glenn Jennings for this local gym guy, I'm like, he was already gone. You know what I mean? This just seems like, to me, like that decision had been made before the Fedora fight. Catterall going to start hitting a little harder. Yup. Johnny, how well do you think Tim Tszyu and Andy Lee would have paired? I think they would have been paired all right. I mean, Andy Lee is a guy, I think, we're seeing good results for Joe Parker. We're seeing good result. One fight with Ben Whitaker. People speak really highly of Andy Lee. former pro. Fun to think about. Sal, damn Johnny, don't say that. Ab Tim, a damn shame. Literally a warrior. He is a warrior. I'm just speaking. He is a warrior. I'm not clowning him. I'm not clowning him. Blokes, yeah, I'm in my mid-20s. Not much, PJ. Yeah. What did I miss? So, yeah, that's to answer your question. You guys are just hearing my take on Tszyu. One of the boys asked me. Tszyu's left his camp to go train with Jeff Fennick. What do you guys like? So this weekend, guys, we have a 7-leg long parlay, PJ. I know you're always interested in. I already gave you on the stream my lock for method of victory. It's $1.50. The long parlay is $3.43. The method of victory is $1.50. So if you guys want to go into that again, let me know. Shiraz did look good under Lee. I forgot about Shiraz. So damn, Andy Lee's out here. Shiraz too. Holy shit. So Shiraz went to Andy Lee, Ben Whitaker. That's the UK move, isn't it? The UK move for prospects is like, if you have a little bit of a hiccup, Andy Lee's sitting in the background like, what's up? I forgot about Shiraz. Shiraz, Whitaker, Joe Parker, even though he's a Kiwi. Thank you, brother. The corruption makes me hate the sport. So David says, thank you. The corruption makes me hate the sport. A lot of careers stolen to build the foundation of another. True story. Reason I'm always looking for the underdog. When an underdog wins, he won that 100%. David, I think my underdog of the week will be Anthony Cuba. Oh, no, my bad. Didn't mean it that way. I meant it like, wow, didn't. Yeah, it's all good, Sal. Didn't think he'd take that route. PJ, there's PJ. PJ, I'm giving it to you right now, brother. I know you're always asking. You're a loyalist. Where's the parlay? No, I'm going to give it to you right now. I'll also put it on YouTube. Third time. It's 42 minutes into the live. Long parlay. These are the only fights I'm getting. 7 legs on the money line. $3.43. So here's what we're going to do. Stanionis, Tszyu Gallagher, Amanda Galle, Sean McComb, Naomi Valley, Masla McKendez, Najee Lopez. That's the fun sprinkle, 7 legs. My method of victory lock. I've already put this one in. It's $1.50. It's Sean McComb to win by decision. If you could get that, I like that a lot by itself. I know some of you guys will take method of victories and piece them together on a money line parlay. I like compartmentalizing them. I like keeping my money line parlay separate, method of victories separate. I do like, though, that McComb to win by decision and Stanionis by knockout. So that is going to be my multi-prop method of victory parlay too. So I'm giving you that. I've given you guys a lot so far, right? And this is for everybody. So if you could get Stanionis by KO or TKO, and then McComb by decision, let's go. I really like that. Yeah, I got Cuba for the upset too. 100%. Let's go, Mujajos. Where's the parlay art? I always mix up methods. Yeah, we all have our own systems. Because I'm not... Julius, what's up, buddy? I'll get to that in a second, Julius. DJ, to put an exclamation point on that, DJ says, I always mix up method of victories and money lines. And when I see guys like DJ post their parlays and they hit, I always admire that, because every time I've tried to get fancy and mix them, maybe this is my own superstition, I never hit. But maybe it's because I never do it. You know, it's kind of one of those things, a statistical sort of thing. I think I've done it once and I've lost, and in my head, oh, that's fucking stupid, I can't do it, blah, blah. But I think and I guess, DJ, I mean, it's a good way to juice up those odds, because as you can tell, we just did a 7-leg and only at $3.43. But if you would take McComb out at 122 on that same 7-leg and put him at $1.50, and then take Stanionis out at $1.07 on the money line and put him in by stoppage, which I'm not getting those odds, it would definitely take the 7-leg from a 343 to at least a 5 plus 500. So I see that. And maybe, you know what I get? I get salty, though. Like, I'm always afraid of one of those bougie $7, $10 money lines losing, and then my like brilliant looking method of victory winning, and then the whole ticket gets sauced. So that's why I do that. That's my own reasoning on why I separate them, because it's kind of like king me. You know what I mean? If the long parlay gets dusted with a big favorite losing, we didn't go heavy on it. But when I in Japan, when I hit that plus 580 2 weeks ago on its own, king me. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have had that on the same ticket as like one of the boys the night before, I think there was one favorite who lost on it was either the Canelo card or the card before. If I would have paired them up, I wouldn't even have told you I took the dog. I think it was Rivera. I took a plus 580 and a plus 420 that both hit in that same weekend. But you get my point. Okay, so Julius says Najee's going to stop Kelvin. Julius, is that something, is that I know you're not coming, don't take offense to this. Is that sort of a fan bias perspective, or did you do tape? And you've done tape. Because when Tszyu has been brought up on the live stream the last 3 days, the reason why I ask, it seems like he's one of these fighters that is sort of polarizing. Because I've heard people come on the stream and message me about being big fans of Tszyu and then hating on him. So my question is you picking Tszyu to stop Kelvin based on tape, or statistically, or what you've seen in each, or a fan perspective? I'm interested because my mind is open to that bet. They're not even giving us that on our books though. DJ Green, gotta try it. I'm going to try it. You bring up a good point, DJ. EV 44 ounce happens to me all the time. That 1,000 money line crash. So EV 44 ounce. 44 ounces to freedom. Let's go. One of my all-time favorite. So little side note. I used to play in a reggae band in Long Beach, California. So I used to play reggae. I used to write for like a beach reggae band. And Sublime is obviously from Long Beach. And so when I always read your name wrong. I always thought that said EV 4 ounces, thinking that like MMA gloves are 4 ounces. But now I'm reading it, it's like 44 ounces, and I'm thinking 40 ounce to freedom, which was a Sublime song. Anyway, Kelvin Henderson is a nobody and a journeyman. Okay. I need more than that. So he's going in there to get stopped? Kelvin's 19-2. So Kelvin's 19-2. He's got stopped once. He is 35 years old, though. He's on a 4-fight win streak. David Morrell stopped him in the 4th. Damn, are we calling 19-2 guys journeymen now? Wow. Would you consider a guy who's 19-2 a journeyman? Okay, I'm looking at the resume. Maybe I'm being too kind. Okay, Mars says, looking ahead a bit, do you think Boots stops Lima? Also, am I tripping, or is the Hart odds too wide? Can be inconsistent and Hart is a solid vet. Dude, Jesse Hart. I mean, which Khalil Ko are we getting? We've watched the first fight and the rematch. We watched what he looked like just recently in Mexico. He looked great. Are we believers in Khalil Ko? Isn't Khalil Ko also the young man who put belt to ass on Pereira, the boogeyman of the UFC, who literally has no head movement? His spine and his torso is so stiff, he throws his hooks like this, and Khalil Ko was beating that ass. And I know it was just sparring, but the look on Pereira's face was hilarious. Like he thought he was just going to dog walk him. What color are we going to get? Jesse Hart is a vet. And it's a good question to ask. Does Jesse beat Ko? The Ko that we just saw, though, man, he looked sharp. He looked powerful. He looked strong. He looked fast. His energy was there. He looked hungry. It's a tough night for Hart. And does Boots stop Lima? I think Look, Mar, when guys are moving up for the first time, and it's kind of like, I guess hindsight's 2020. Historically, let's talk about the last 2 years. Let's, without using your internet, it's one of the reasons why I like, I'm learning to like just everything on these live streams are always off the cuff for me. Without using the internet, boys, how often do we see fighters going up for the first time in a division and winning their first fight in a newer division by stoppage? Last week we saw, and I'm just using this, Terrence Bud Crawford moved up. Bad example. Obviously he won by decision. Liam Paro just moved up to fight David Pepot. Very tough fight. 40-47, decent jump. This is 47-54. Lima is the IBO champ. IBO at one time is a legit belt, man. You boys are haters about that. What? Don't include 18-22. Don't include 15-18. Don't include 22-26. Don't include maybe from 130 onwards. In recent memory, who are we seeing that in their first fight in that new division winning by stoppage? DJ hit on some good parlays. I'm good at picking winners, not good at placing bets. I'm way up. David, man, your authenticity is awesome, brother. And this is called, when you're learning. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Sal, Johnny, I'll try to post pics when I go, but taking the flight. Oh, mate, you're going to Lubin versus Ortiz. I'm so jealous. I'd love to be at that fight. Yeah, Sal, put him in the Discord, brother. What's up, Mike? You taking any UFC bets? Mike, I just got the options for boxing. My book just opened for boxing, so I'm going to take the next 6 hours. I got a lot of film study to do. I got 2 uploads I got to do. I got to go live again. Tomorrow is my Friday, so I have Friday and Saturday to get to the UFC bets, Mike. And I have 1 more live stream today, 6 more live streams I'm going to be doing. So, yes, I just can't give you an exact one. Give me some time because there are some fights in the UFC I'm going to take. And if anything, Mike, I'll message you on Insta. DJ, just finding your own strategy works 100%. Money Mooch, yeah. Big Mooch. Larry Hoover. I hope Cole wins. I think Khalil should win. Money Meach, boots 7-12 plus 140 is a play. Yes, sir. You know what it is about it. I'm not saying that he's not going to stop Lima. We are in the brainstorming phase of our betting. This is what we do here with everybody, right? So my job isn't, and this is what I think everyone's realizing, my job has never been to tell you what to do. And sometimes I play devil's advocate. Sometimes when the whole majority of you are going one way, I think it's my duty to at least challenge the consensus and give you a different way of thought. And so and I think that's important on how we should go. It's an analytical way of conversing. It's an analytical way of debating. But Boots Lima 7-12, I think that's a good bet. But it must be stated, it's his first fight at 54. Will the power carry? All of this good stuff. What's he going to look like with the extra weight on? Has to be brought up at least. PJ Cole had a crazy good fast jab. Khalil Cohen, what do we always say, boys? What have you done for me lately? Well, all Khalil Cohen did for us lately is ruin my parlay. I bet against him, and he looked freaking amazing. I'm with Meech on that one. Yes, sir. That or a decision. David, thank you, DJ. Green Mar, the Prince. Shakur versus Yoshino. Okay. But wasn't that when Shakur went from 26-30? Right? Was that Shakur's title at 30, right? So, and that was what, 5 years ago? In the last 2 years. I think Cole wins now. Because, guys, think about when Benavidez went up to 74 first fight, knockout artist at 68. Think about David Morrell going up at 68, 74, knockout artist at 68. Bud, obviously, we talked about. you know, guys who have gone from 35 to 40, 40 to 47. It's just a question you have to ask yourself. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but based on recent memory, does it happen a lot? Do we see guys in their division moving up for their first fight win by knockout? This is still for an IBO belt too. I think Cole wins. Now that I'm thinking about it, fast jab, good power. He got the stoppage. He looked great in his last fight. Johnny, do you think them girl fights go the distance? PJ, a lot of the girl fights do go the distance, other than our girl, Sweet Poison. But I'll get back to you. Sup, everybody? Rando, I haven't seen Rando tapping in since last week. Where you been at, Rando Light? EV, boots on the over. I like it. Can you... Money Meech says, can you talk about the difference between 8 and 10 ounce gloves? Yes, Money Meech. So, guys, 2 ounces matters. Put it this way, Money Meech. Talking about glove size, we'll start at the lowest. Bare knuckle, right? Bare knuckle, boom, 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 boom. Then we got MMA, 4 ounce gloves. That's literally just the padding around here, okay? And then you got 8 ounces, 10 ounces, 12s. I spar, you should only be sparring in 16s. And I know heavyweights who spar in heavier gloves than 16s. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is, especially if you're not used to punching, the smaller 8 ounce glove, mate, is like, if you're a big puncher, man, sometimes, you know, that's why I wish the commission, I wish the hand wrapping and the commission and the video and for the fans transparency, there was more rhetoric on this exact topic, Money Meech, and that even during the fights we'd get to see it. The hands getting, I love that. One of my favorite things about Bud Crawford is that he wraps his own hands. It's a very old school way of doing it. You never see guys in this era wrap their own hands. And, you know, it's a very samurai like sort of meditative. I love wrapping my own hands. But to see a guy at the world level of Crawford's level wrapping his own hands before a fight, ooh, it's just another level to his discipline. Cathartic. You know what I mean? It puts you in a state. It's kind of like, I think you ancient historians will correct me on this. It was either the gladiators, it was either the Spartans or the gladiators, to where before they would go to war, their wives would bathe them and lotion them, massage them and get everything prepped, meditative. Obviously, the idea of sitting before battle with your thoughts, wrapping your own hands, is a very primal way of doing things. The 8 to 10 ounce glove difference, the 2 ounces, it matters, man. Especially if you're a big puncher. That's why there's restrictions on it. 130, 135. Canelo stopped fielding at 68 and Kovalev. So there's not a lot of them. It was 30 to 35. Okay. It wasn't 26 to 30. My point is, you don't see it a lot, do you? You don't see it a lot, but you're right. It doesn't seem to be. And I don't know how much of that has to do, and this is an interesting thing to think about. I don't know if it's we don't see it a lot because the fighter isn't good enough to get the stoppage, or more or less the fighters believing the own rhetoric of what we're talking about. Maybe it's a psychological thing of the fighter himself is sort of regulated to just going through the motions and getting a victory, rather than, because to get somebody out of there, there is risk to it. David says, I think, did the stream freeze? Guys, I got to roll. I got a lot of work to do. Co is talented. Appreciate the support. Stay tuned to the channel. We got a lot of work to do.